Welcome everybody to this week's Ruck Off. I believe it is the 6th Ruck Off. Apparently they're numbered wrong. And apparently there's only one person that can tell us that. We saw that ugly brawl just then at the top of the broadcast out at Southern Beaches last week. And the man we've got this week is the Citing Commissioner, Jason Wagstaff. Jason, over to you, my friend. How are you?
Good, thanks, Gareth.
Is it Ruck Off 6 or Ruck Off 8, mate?
I believe it'd be Ruck Off 6, but I think they're numbered incorrectly on the Bar TV website. Well, but I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
I'll give you the tip. You can go and get rucked yourself, mate. Because I know I do the numbers, and the numbers are numbered correctly. You had a busy week anyway, being the Citing Commissioner. I mean, normally this year, sightings are limited to whales going up and down the coast, but you saw a couple of killer sharks out of the ground last week, mate. Look,
I did. The first sightings that I've had to do for the season, and I've watched a lot of rugby leading up to this weekend. I watch all the Premier 1 matches where I can, and I try to get to some of the divisional matches. But this weekend, we got the heads up. There was a blue on the Sunday game, and got stuck into that game. And I found three indiscretions that I thought were worthy of citing.
So what were the indiscretions, and how did they fare at the judiciary last night?
The first discretion was the actual instigator of what I thought was the blue was the hooker for, or the number 4 for Eastern Suburbs, or East Rugby Club.
May Phoenix
rising from the fires, the ashes.
Well, they certainly came with a bit of fire the other day.
They did. The vision clearly showed, in my mind, the player standing up from the scrum and taking a couple of good hits at his opposite number. What,
straight rights, left, right, left, or what was it? A good combo?
It was a couple of hits, and then I moved on to trying to find some more indiscretions in that, because all the players came from everywhere, including the wingers from a few different states. I think they came in from that far, but I managed to look at number 14 for Merriweather Carlton.
A winger?
Sorry, not for Merriweather, for East.
Still,
East
he's
as
a
well.
winger.
He's a winger.
They can't throw them, can they? Surely that's a joke.
Well, it wasn't. He did throw one, and
and ran away.
And ran into the melee to continue on. And then I found a Merriweather player, number 7 actually, right over the back of the vision, putting a few on an East player. Now,
how many?
Three that I could see in the vision.
The standard view
that I could see in the video. Now, they came to judiciary last night, and I believe from what I've been told that the number 4 for East was given some sanctions. I don't know if it was a week or a couple of weeks, but the other 2 were ruled inconclusive as far as the video was concerned. So they were let off. But I don't really class it as a success or a failure. I thought I saw red card threshold material on the video and put those sanctions in place.
I mean, there's something happened after the whistle as well. There was a bit of an incident there too.
Look, it did. You could see vision, and it's very unclear as to just what actually happened. So I didn't actually cite from that. But after the whistle blew and the guys were shaking hands, it appears that one of the East players has again started to take offence at one of the Merriweather players, but because the video was inconclusive as to what actually happened, we didn't cite for that.
Very good. Well, the Colts have always been known as a fiery young bunch, and they play with a lot of passion, so the passion boiling over there this week. And of course, as a Citing Commissioner, let's get into that. What's the role entail, and I guess how did you get the role? Because I mean, is it a case you were a bit of a thug in your playing days? Is it a case of hire a thief to catch a thief?
No, not exactly. I wouldn't call myself a thug. I've never considered myself to be a really good rugby player. I think I played first grade by default.
They're all good playing up front, mate.
That's right. I think I managed to play first grade by default when Lake Macquarie ran out of players to put in first grade. But essentially, I got the role because of one, I wanted to do the role. I had a break from rugby when I did a knee injury up at Singleton a couple of years back, and was in the judiciary for several years until I came back to rugby again when the knee fixed up. And I got a passion for being that part of the game management side. And when I retired from rugby at the end of 2015 completely. I asked Andy if there was a role available, and he said that there's a citing commissioner available, and I was happily appointed by the board. What happened after that was I was invited down to Sydney just before the Sydney Sevens, and and had some training at the Judiciary workshop held by Australian Rugby Union.
Free tickets to the Sevens?
We got free tickets to the Sevens,
Wow.
but I didn't go. I didn't go.
Not a Sevens man.
I am a Sevens man, but I had other engagements that weekend with the family. But
Are you a Jared Hayne man?
no,
Apparently he's paying for Lake Macquarie this week.
I hope he is, because they need something. I got some excellent training down there with the top guys that have been doing citing for the Super Rugby and for Test matches, and I've been in contact with those guys ever since. So and the thing about the citing commissioner is there is actually a pathway to go from zone level here through to Super Rugby and through to Test matches through experience. So
is it something you want to take further, and you can potentially see taking further?
Look, it is. It's one of those roles that I enjoy the responsibility of it. It's not one of those roles that you say it's fun, but it is enjoyable, and I enjoy the responsibility. So it's one of those roles I'd like to take further, because I just love rugby, and it's one of those things.
Yeah, definitely. We all love rugby here on Ruck Off. Of course, I'm just looking at your hand there. Is that an iron fist you've got? When you clench it, just jamming it down and jamming it down people's throats. Is that the tact you're going to take, or are you going to
No, not at all. Because
take it diligently.
Because it is a responsible role.
I want to see at least. This is me personally. I want to see at least 4 people cited a week from here on in.
I can only
especially
go on,
wingers.
I can only go on what we see. Look. The current rules, or the new ARU rules that the zone has adopted, allows the citing commissioner to basically, once I believe that the offence has gone past the red card threshold, it can't be challenged at judiciary. So once it meets that threshold, it meets the threshold. So they can only then look at the evidence as it stands in the judiciary. So it's and I also have the option of giving a citing commissioner a warning, which is the same as an off-field yellow card. So I've got two sanctions available, but because they are very, very heavy sanctions, I'm very wary about using them unless the evidence is clear.
Well, I'm encouraging you to use them more, Jason. We're going to have a quick look now. We're going to have a round review from last week. There's a couple of big matches, a couple of good matches, a couple of big scores as well. And we'll go firstly, I guess, to the Singleton Waratahs game. Excuse me, Singleton, they were impressive, and they look like they're growing with each match, and we can see in the vision here that they got a couple of tries. The score was 28-17, but the Waratahs, they looked a little bit out of it. They haven't really got the depth, but with a couple of those players coming in this week, they've got a couple of imports. Jason, what do you think about that?
Look, I think Waratah would have been better for the run last week, and I could see them probably coming through this week.
Yeah, definitely. So we got now the Newcastle University Hamilton Hawks game, 51-17. No surprises there. The Hawks, they look in pretty good form early on in the season, pretty good nick. University just aren't quite there, the young side, and you can see here getting absolutely dominated in the set piece as well. So it's something that they can work on, Jason.
Look, it is. I thought Uni would have been a lot stronger this year than what they have been because of the amount of players they have got and some of the players they've got in their team, and their coaching staff's pretty good. So I was expecting more from Uni, to be honest. But Hamilton is a very well-versed team, so it's probably no surprise there.
Yeah, so Nelson Bay 0 at the Groper Dome, Lake Macquarie 60, and that's, I know you can be non-biased in your role as citing commissioner, but it was an impressive performance by Lake Macquarie. You see the tries here shown by Lake Macquarie really chancing their arm, and that's the way they play, Jason.
Look, it is, but I also feel that Nelson's Bay probably didn't do themselves any favour by trying to play Lake Macquarie up the middle. They have got a very, very strong forward pack, and it's no surprise that when Carlton played Lake Macquarie early in the season, they went around the outside and certainly picked up some tries, but Nelson's Bay didn't pick up on that fact and tried to play them up the guts, and Lake Macquarie very dominant in the forward area, and that just showed on the weekend's match. Yeah,
definitely, they sure did, and Merewether Carlton, we just spoke about them. They had a big win against Southern Beaches, 45-14. Not the best day at the Sandpit. Of course, they changed the game around last minute. Don't know if that affected. There was a couple of functions on the Saturday for the Southern Beaches side, so maybe that came into effect. Maybe a couple of boys had a bit too much of a party the day before.
A couple of boys might have been a bit furry after the night before, but I would have thought that game would have been a lot closer with the strength of the beach, what beaches have shown this season already. But Carlton is obviously showing to be themselves the standout for the season.
Yeah, definitely. And we're on to Maitland for the feature match, and we can see here on the vision, Maitland versus Wanderers, 23-32. It was a game that went right down to the bell. It was probably the best game I personally have seen in the last 3 years of covering it for Bar TV Sports in this RAMS 2016 premiership. Definitely the best game. And two sides that are going to definitely compete at the end of the year. And some of the hits, the plays, the structure shown by Wanderers, it was just really good, and experience won it in the end.
Look, it did. I was really impressed with the way Maitland played, especially in the forward pack. Being a forward myself, so I like to have a look to see where they go in that area. But it was an exceptional game. I watched the game twice, actually, I watched it live and then watched it on replay just to have a look, just because the game was very good to watch.
Well, I'll tell you who watched the game twice, the coach for the Wanderers, and we're going to have a look. We had caught up with him after the game, Viv Passi, giving us everything from the Wanderers right now.
Well, Viv, hard-fought win today.
Yeah, it was, mate. We always knew that when coming up here it was going to be a tough slog, and great atmosphere and everything like that, and just really proud of our guys. They stayed in the fight the whole 80s, which was great.
Definitely, you guys played the perfect pressure game, really strangled the Maitland side, but they showed some good fight, and then they'll be there at the end of the year.
Oh, definitely, without a doubt, mate. They stayed with us the whole match. We were just lucky to sort of get that try at the end there, but other than that, it was neck and neck all the way. It was a great game of rugby.
Yeah, definitely. Best game of the season so far on Bar TV Sports.
Excellent. That's awesome. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, man.
Well, we're back, everybody, for Bar TV Sports Ruck Off. Of course, now it's the Rams low percentage play of the week, and this week, this is a damaging hit. He's a damaging player, and he's one of the form players in the competition. I'd be surprised if he's going to be here next year, because I know a few Sydney clubs are circling him. Is Rockaboro's hit in the university game out there on campus, and I tell you what, they felt it at International House. They felt it everywhere around the grounds, Jason.
Mate, I think they felt it at Disneyland. It was that far away.
Well, Disneyland does feel the tremors out there, doesn't it, mate?
Doesn't it?
So we'll have a look at the hit right now and tell us. And Seba Rockaboro, he's won the Jesus Can't Play Rugby CD of the week. Well, there you see, and as you can see, Rockaboro making inroads in this RAMS NHRU competition. And we're going to have a bit of a preview for this week's round. Jason, of course, as you mentioned before, you've been keeping in good touch with all the games. You're watching all the games. The first game we've got up, Hamilton Hawks, Nelson Bay.
Yeah, I can see the Hawks taking this one out just purely after, well, they might be still stinging after Lake Macquarie put 60 on them without a try. So they could be stinging, but I'm thinking that Hawks will be far too strong for the Bay this week. Yeah,
definitely. I did speak to Paul Dan during the week. He came into the office, as he generally does, to get a bit of footage, and they've got quite a few players out with the country camp this weekend. So it's going to be a little bit closer than what we think, maybe. I think they are very strong depth-wise, Hamilton.
Look, the depth that Hamilton's got, I can't see it being too much of an issue for Hamilton.
Yeah, really? So, we've got the top better margins as well for our top better free fantasy tournaments each week. I'm going to take Nelson Bay in that with the margin, I think. I think it's going to be a lot closer than everyone thinks.
No, I can see Hamilton absolutely stepping up, and the younger blokes will step up and really take it to the Grapers.
Another interesting match out at Southern Beaches. Singleton travelling away. Singleton winless yet. Speaking to Anthony Partridge just yesterday as well. He's confident that a win's round the corner for the Singleton side. Don't know if they'll do it at Southern Beaches, coming off of a heavy loss against Carlton last week. And Michael Delord, he didn't really fire last week, so I expect big things from him again.
Look, the problem with Singleton is that they're perennial poor travellers. Very, very poor travellers. So I can't see Singleton putting much of a dent in Beaches this week.
Are you saying they're poor travellers because of the mining boom's over and they haven't got as much money, or they just don't travel well?
They just don't travel well for two reasons. One, half the players never turn up and they can't fill a bus. But the other thing is that when they do turn up, it's generally, for some reason, they just never travel well past Singleton.
Yeah, well, they're a young side as well, so they're definitely not lacking enthusiasm. I'm going to discount them this week, though. I think it's going to be too hard against the Southern Beaches side, who really need to win to keep in touch with the top five. Yeah, sorry. Now we've got the Waratahs taking on Lake Macquarie. What do you reckon?
Well, I think Lake Macquarie, if they can maintain the rage from last weekend, they'll do Waratah straight up the guts.
You think?
Oh, without a doubt.
I mean, Waratah, I'm going to say they're lacking depth through the grades, but let's face it, Lake Macquarie coming off a couple of 100-0 defeats as well. I mean, it's interesting, Waratah have got a couple more imports, so I don't know how that's going to affect player points and all that sort of stuff. It's not for me to work out. Interestingly enough, though, the players coming across are from Colwyn Bay, and I had a little stint there when I was 21 in Colwyn Bay, so obviously Colwyn Bay have come on to bigger and better things because I wouldn't be getting imported back, that's for sure.
No, I can see, unless Waratahs decide have got some sort of different game, because Waratah also has a fairly sizable forward pack, I can see both forward packs having a good tussle in the guts, and I can't see that Waratah would be matching Lake Macquarie there. So I think Lake Macquarie's going to get this match.
That's a big call. Is that the head or the heart there?
That's probably more the heart than the head, but I can see Lake Macquarie doing Waratah this weekend.
I'm going to go Waratahs. I think Dane Sherritt will be the difference. He's got a couple of players outside him now that he's familiar with this week, so I think he's going to be there.
What do you think? He'd be better than the perennial pest Matt Bartley?
Matt Barley's my favourite player after a few others, but
the best lay in town, he said.
Well, yeah, I mean, you taught him everything you knew, Waggy, and that's not much.
That's not much at all.
Very good. So we're going to go now Wanderers versus University here at number 2 Sports Ground, and just on that, how do you feel being here at number 2 Sports Ground, Waggy?
Look, it's not a place.
Are you going to cite yourself?
I should cite myself for being here. But look, it's no secret that when I played with Lake Macquarie, that the 3 teams I hated playing the most was Wanderers, Merriweather Carlton and Southern Beaches, in that order. Normally because they're normally upper crusts and Southern Beaches just because they're the beaches.
Battle of the Lake.
Battle of the Lake. But no, look, it's a wonderful facility. I just wish it was in someone else's hands.
Yeah, very, very good. I mean, I guess University, we mentioned before, they're just not there and thereabouts, and I think everyone lifts when they play the Wanderers, and that's a testament to the Wanderers and what they've got and the facility they've got and the training and everything they've put in on and off the field. But I guess everyone lifts, and it could be a little bit tighter this match than what they've been used to, because there is the country week as well with the country camp, so they're going to be missing quite a few players.
It doesn't matter. The Wanderers have got such a good program and such good strength that they'll have uni for breakfast. Easy.
Really?
Oh yes.
Wow. Well, you're a man that knows about breakfast, as do I. Love me scrambled eggs.
I used to train at McDonald's. I know what it's like.
So University, scrambled eggs for breakfast it is then. And now the last match we've got Maitland travelling to Townsend Oval, the feature match this week against Merriweather Carlton. And these two sides, I think, may be challenging for that second spot.
Look, if there's ever a team that's going to give Merriweather any type of touch-up, it's going to be Maitland.
Maitland put me into retirement.
Exactly right. And look, I think Maitland has got the numbers to put Merriweather in a loss situation this week.
Really?
Yep, I'm backing Maitland all the way.
You're going to back Maitland? They're coming off a tight loss last week, Merriweather Carlton.
I think they'll lift after that.
Yeah, you do?
Yep.
You think that won't stunt what they've been building? I mean, they've been building something really good throughout the year. The club's really come together, obviously with a few off-field dramas as well. I guess Merriweather, I mean, it's the battle of the teams that cheated, according to the NHRU, which I don't think they did cheat, but anyway, it's the battle of the teams that got the points stripped.
Yes. Look, I think that Maitland will have it. Will just have just enough petrol to take Merriweather Carlton.
Really?
Yes.
I'm going to say it's going to be another very close defeat to Maitland this week, and I think there'll be 3 points in it.
Mate, you need to have more enthusiasm for these kinds of games. You're going to be more passionate. show a bit of positivity, not negativity.
What do you mean? It is positive. I'm going for Merriweather Carlton. It's going to be 3 points in it. It's going to be down to the wire. You can't get any more passionate than that, Waggy.
No, it's going to be Maitland all the way. They'll beat them in the forwards. Easy.
Do you want to have an arm wrestle for it?
You sure you can manage it?
Oh, I don't think I could. You'll probably tear my arm off limb from limb.
I'll tell you, my missus could probably tear your arm off limb by me.
I'll tell you what, my missus can, and she has. But anyway, she's back from the Caribbean, and I'm loving having her back around the house, Waggy.
Mm.
And very good. That's it for Ruck Off for this week. If you don't like it, go and get rucked yourself, Waggy. You're a man who enjoys a good rucking. Thanks for coming in.
And it's great to have been rucked.
Yeah, well, we had a good chance earlier on to catch up with Mark Glanville from the Good Sports program, good sponsors of the NHRU, and it was good to chat to him all about what good sports is and what it's all about. We'll leave you with that one.
Well, with us right now, Mark Glanville from Good Sports. Mark, would you consider yourself a good sport, and what's it all about, mate?
Mate, definitely I am a good sport, but the Good Sports program is run by the Australian Drug Foundation, and it's aimed at local sporting clubs. It's an accreditation program around managing alcohol responsibly, but also having healthier food and drink in the canteens.
I was just about to challenge you to a boat race, but that's obviously not going to be happening, mate.
No, it's not. And look, the drinking games and those sort of things are part of the level 2 in the Good Sports program, that we don't want clubs doing that and phasing those out. So the good thing about Good Sports is it's not about not drinking, but it's about making sure it's done in a safe and responsible environment.
Yeah, very good. And there's a couple of management programs in. You mentioned the levels. How do clubs get to those sort of levels, and what's that all about?
Yeah, well, they meet with a project officer, and the project officer goes through the club around how they act, I suppose, and what they do with regards to their alcohol. So majority of clubs within New South Wales are sponsored by a licensed premise and don't actually sell alcohol themselves. So we've got two streams within the program. There's clubs that consume and sell, clubs that consume and don't sell. So for clubs to reach level 1, it's really about, if they're selling alcohol, they need a licence. Obviously they need people RSA trained. If they don't have a licence and want to continue to sell alcohol, we'll help them get a liquor licence. We'll train their staff to be trained in RSA. Level 2 is about having safe transport policy, making sure there's no drinking games, making sure alcohol's not involved in player awards or those sort of things. And then level 3 is really about the club having an alcohol management policy that everyone agrees to be bound by.
Yeah, very good. And you've come through, you've played sport, I guess, all your life. You've been involved in sport all your life. Yep. How do you see that applying to players now, grassroots, right through to Tier 1 sports?
Yeah, well, definitely. And I guess our kids see the adults within a club and how they act, certainly around alcohol. So they really have an effect on the juniors, I suppose. And for myself, that played as a kid right through and playing rugby league, and then when I was 17 down in Wagga playing first grade with the rugby league, we had the man of the match got the endless mug. So went to the pub, got it filled up. When it was finished, just kept filling it up until they carried him out. So so those sort of things we want to stop and have a positive influence on the kids coming through, that hopefully we won't see down the track in years to come, the Mitchell Pearces and those sort of things, that those sort of incidents occur.
Yeah, definitely. And how does a club or indeed an association get involved with Good Sports?
Yeah, well, a club, they can just go to the website. It's goodsports.com.au. Go to the website, check on there, and they can enter some information, and we'll get in touch with the club then.
Yes, and obviously being a back rower yourself in your playing days, you probably didn't win too many of those mugs as a 17-year-old. Any advice for those kids coming through out there?
Yeah, well, look, I guess for those juniors, I mean, if you want to reach the top, you can't really be affording to get on the drink, every weekend or those sort of things. And you really want to apply yourself, train hard, be healthy, eat healthy, drink healthy.
Very good. All the best, Mark, and it's good to see you doing great things for the community, mate.
Yeah, thanks very much, and great to see that Good Sports is really having a positive effect within the community here.
Very good. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.